Welcome to the Classic Soap Operas podcast. Tonight, we are opening a dusty, forgotten case file on a show that had every ingredient to be a smash hit, but instead, it vanished into thin air. It was called Secrets of Midland Heights, and believe me, its real story is just as wild as any of its on-screen drama.
I want you to picture the scene. It's 1980. Primetime soaps are the biggest thing on TV, and the absolute titans behind Dallas announced their next big project. I mean, it had everything. A gorgeous young cast, jaw-dropping secrets, and a built-in audience. It was a slam dunk, a guaranteed hit, right? Well, not exactly. So the real question is, how did a show with this much promise just completely fall off the face of the earth? And this right here is why the hype was through the roof. It came from Lorimar Productions, with the absolute dream team of David Jacobs, Lee Rich, and Michael Fillerman running the show. These guys weren't just producers, they were hitmakers. They gave us Dallas, they gave us the iconic Knots Landing. It seemed like they had the Midas touch, and CBS was betting the farm that they could strike gold a third time.
To really get it, you have to remember what this era was like. The nighttime soap opera was king. This wasn't your mom's afternoon soap opera. No, this was big-budget, glossy, primetime television. It was that once-a-week must-see TV, packed with cliffhangers, shocking betrayals, and forbidden love affairs. The whole country was hooked. So what was Midland Heights actually all about? Well, the whole concept was sold as a darker, edgier version of the classic drama Peyton Place. It was set in this seemingly perfect Midwestern college town, but just underneath that wholesome surface, it was absolutely boiling over with secrets and scandals. Now, the producers were laser-focused on grabbing a younger audience, and boy, did the storylines deliver. You had all the classic teen drama. There was Lisa Rogers, stuck in a love triangle with the star jock and a rich fraternity guy. Then you had the town's good girl heiress, Anne, sneaking around with a guy from the quote-unquote wrong side of the tracks. And of course, the big will they or won't they with Holly and her boyfriend Teddy. I mean, this was pure, unadulterated soap opera gold. But listen, if you thought the kids' lives were complicated, you haven't met their parents. Because like in all the best soaps, the adults were where the really explosive drama was happening, and their secrets were tangled up with their kids' lives in the messiest way imaginable. Okay, so here's the twist that tied it all together. Remember Holly and Teddy, the teenage sweethearts? Well, it turns out that Holly's mother, Dorothy, was having a secret affair with Teddy's widowed father, Nathan. I mean, can you even imagine? That is the kind of bombshell that just connects everything and everyone in the most dramatic way possible. It was brilliant. And of course, bubbling under all that personal drama, you had the classic power struggle. It was the foundation of the whole town's tension. On one side, you had the Millingtons, basically town royalty, led by this powerful matriarch. And on the other, the Wheelers, who were just as rich and just as powerful. These two families were in a constant battle for money, influence, and control of the town itself. And get this, the cast was absolutely stacked with people who would go on to be huge stars. Seriously, you may not know the show, but you know these names. A very young Linda Hamilton, years before she was the iconic Sarah Connor in The Terminator. A pre-Falcon Crest Lorenzo Lamas. And even Melora Hardin, who you probably know as Jan from The Office. It's kind of amazing to think this forgotten show was a launchpad for so much talent. Which, of course, brings us right back to the central mystery. You've got the all-star producers, you've got future A-listers in the cast, you've got scandalous, interwoven plot lines. So why isn't Secrets of Midland Heights a household name like Dallas? Why did it just vanish? Well, the end came shockingly fast. The show premiered on December 6th, 1980. By January 24th, 1981, it was over. That's not even 2 months. The entire run was just 8 weeks. For a show with this much potential, that is a brutal, blink-and-you-miss-it lifespan. The ratings tell such a crazy story. So it premiered to about 11.8 million viewers, which is, okay, not great, but not a disaster. But then, week 4, the audience suddenly exploded to over 22 million people. You'd think, that's it, we're a hit. But they couldn't hold on to them. The numbers just cratered, dropping all the way down to under 10 million a few weeks later. The audience was all over the place. So what was the problem? Well, many people point to one thing, its time slot. The network put a show specifically designed for teens and young adults on the air at 10 o'clock, on a Saturday night. Think about that. In 1980, where was the target audience? They were out. At the movies, at parties, anywhere but home watching TV. It was the classic death slot, and it was programming for an audience that just wasn't there. 3. That single number tells you everything you need to know about how sudden this was. That's how many completed, ready-to-air episodes were left on the shelf, never seen by anyone. The network didn't just cancel it. They pulled the plug mid-story. All those cliffhangers, all that drama, just left hanging in the void forever. But the story has a few weird twists even after it ended. The producers actually tried to salvage the idea, retooling it into a new show called King's Crossing a year later, which also didn't last long. But the actors, they thrived. Lorenzo Lamas, for example, immediately got cast on another Lorimar show, Falcon Crest, and it became one of the biggest hits of the entire decade. And so, Secrets of Midland Heights just became this bizarre little footnote in TV history. It's the perfect case study of how you can have all the right pieces in place, the pedigree, the talent, the juicy premise, but one really bad decision, like a terrible time slot, can sink the entire ship. It's a truly fascinating failure. So maybe we shouldn't just remember it as a flop. Maybe we should see it as a time capsule, a show that was bursting with future stars and scandalous ideas that for just a few weeks had the potential to be huge. Its story is really a powerful reminder that in the world of television, there is never, ever a sure thing.
Thank you so much for digging into this forgotten piece of soap opera history with me. If you had fun uncovering the secrets of Midland Heights, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me what you think in the comments below.
And now I want to hear from you. What classic soap opera, what forgotten gem, what iconic storyline should we investigate next time? Let me know your suggestions. I can't wait to see what we uncover together. Until then, keep digging for those secrets.